Timeout Talk.
Hello and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Thrills custom t-shirts and accessories, sponsored by the one and only Ice Shaker, the only bottle you will ever need. And we are sponsored by the Kirk Minahan Show. And we are live on the KMS Minifan Network, so call it. And we are also live Facebook, Twitch as well. Josh alongside Ben here. And we are off and rolling. We're back. Timeout Talks is back. This is week 2 of Timeout Talks being back. This is week 2 of the NFL. So very excited to get into it. And what other way to start it off? Let's get Ben on a high note. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben. I mean, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, I mean, Josh was pretty we didn't get into it during the pregame show. Pregame show. Yeah, that's what I like to call that before the show, the pregame. I said game of the year so far. Josh said he's not going to get into it. He's going to let it go organically. So I'm interested to see his reaction to it. But that's a great picture at the end. Jalen Ramsey. Unfortunately, I don't think the game of the year, actually, that's just a little bias for me that Bills-Ravens probably took it so far for the game of the year so far. That was just insane. Just a couple great games last night, too. The Vikings. Stunning comeback. Josh saying we're back. Everything's back now. Everything's back to normal. We got the NFL. We're back. And the Steelers. Week 1 win over the Jets. It didn't feel like it was normal, Josh, for a while. That game was a little strange. I won't lie. The Jets, I'm interested to see how the Pats are going to handle the Jets. Can't wait for that game. So we can get into that one. But they looked good. I won't lie, Josh. They looked good. Justin Fields. Kind of giving a little resurgence to Breece Hall over there, too. Having that dual threat, I think, opens up Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson, just that Ohio State connection. You're seeing it. He just kind of dusted Darius Slay. I'm a little concerned with Darius Slay. I'm a little concerned with that defense, too. 32 points. It's a little tough. I don't want to put Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to trust Aaron Rodgers to get 34 or 30-plus every time.
I think we lost Ben there for a second. All right, we are back up, I believe. Oh, there we go. Ben, you good?
I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead. As you were saying.
Here we go. I'm back. Back to the legs. It's normal, Josh. We're back to being normal. No, I was just saying, I would have already lost me on that one, too, but I was just saying I can't rely on Aaron Rodgers to do that every time, so we're going to have to figure out on the defensive side. Can't let up 32 points, but I'm excited, Josh. I'm excited about what this team's got. The offense looked great. Give me those 3 tight ends. Freiermuth, Washington. Jonnu Smith, end-around touchdown. That was crazy. Who saw that one coming? But I'm excited. That lag kind of threw me off right there. I was talking to Josh. Josh wasn't moving, so I guess he's lost a lot of steam right there. I was giving some good takes, but I'm excited. Defense, we got to figure that out. That's a little concerning. Can't give up 32 points to the Jets and not have a little concerns about it. But, I mean, there it is. The Boss is amazing. 60-yarder. That changed a lot, Josh, because that was a bad last play from Rodgers. I don't know what that play call was, tossing that ball out there. I mean, when we just needed about 5 yards, I thought we were going to run it. A little strange play call, but Boss makes us forget all about that. Great week 1 for us, though. Jets, watch out for them, Josh. Watch out for them. I think the Jets could be a sneaky good team. Not talking playoffs or anything, but I don't think they're finishing last in that division. I think they give Pats a little scare, but it was a great week 1 for us, Josh. Great week 1. On to Seattle now. That's a big test. That's a little bit more of a test right now. Seattle looked pretty good against San Fran, but I'm excited to see us go up against Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers, I knew they were going to win this game, but they looked good. Aaron Rodgers really turned it on. I mean, Ben, the first half, as you've kind of already kind of touched on there, like I was watching it and I'm like, this is what they paid for. Rodgers looking a little rusty in the pocket. Offense was kind of slow. You saw the flashes with DK and Jaylen Warren, but it wasn't fully there. But then again, man, it was NFL Week 1, first games. I mean, these guys, first time for Aaron Rodgers in that system, same as DK, but they did not miss a beat in that second half. They looked good. And as you mentioned, Jared, we've had him on the show. He's been a guest, and we've actually interviewed him on the show as well. He has been huge on the New York Jets for the past 2 years. Of course, Michael Montante, part of the KMS world. He's a huge Jets fan. But yeah, I mean, they looked really good. Both teams looked very good. Good old-fashioned shootout. Probably been, if maybe the best game of the day. I know the night game probably takes the cake for some people just because the comeback. But if you wanted an old-fashioned shootout, you got that, which I didn't expect at all. I thought a defensive battle. And yeah, you talked about your defense. Your defense definitely could have stepped up in some times. But I mean, it's week 1. I still think the Steelers are going to be in the top half of the league in defense. And I mean, the offensive line looked pretty good. Aaron Rodgers looked good. And I think it all comes down to that, Ben. We know what Mike Tomlin is going to provide coaching, as much as I've said in my bold predictions and James gets on him and, a lot of Patriots fans are quick to have him out the door. It's because they respect what he's done. And, he's never gone under 500 and that streak's still going. And hey, we saw that on display this weekend. Yeah. A little part of me wants to say it's the Jets, pump your brakes, but they looked pretty good. I mean, aside from that, they have a good defense. We can't shy away from that. 2, this was on the road. And 3, the most important player on your team, because again, kind of the point I was trying to get to there was we know what the defense is going to do. They're going to be a top 10 defense easily, maybe even top 5 in my opinion, especially with injuries happening around the league. We know that they can hold their own. I was very curious to see how the offense did, and everybody that you and friggin' Cody were talking about popped. I mean, you saw Jonnu Smith for a touchdown. DK Metcalf went off. My guy, the guy you told me to draft, Calvin Austin, who I'm debating on dropping because I noticed Hollywood Brown's available in one of my leagues. But, I mean, he even popped off. I don't want to take too much of your time here talking about the Steelers because I obviously want to hear more from what you have to say. But you got to feel good, and I think you hit it on the nail. I think this upcoming matchup for the Seahawks and the Steelers are huge games. Steelers go 2-0. Now we're really talking. Then we've kind of realized, okay, Seattle's taken a pretty good step back. Maybe they're going to miss Geno Smith. But on the other hand, it's in Pittsburgh. That's going to be a great game. Seattle really needs that. My good friend here, Cam Lake, gave us the intro song. He's a huge Seahawks fan. He likes what he's seeing out of Charbonnet. So that'll be a good matchup. I'm very interested in that. I'm seeing shades of, I think it was, I don't remember what game it was, but I can't remember. I think it was like a Steelers versus Bucks years and years ago when the Bucks, everybody thought they were going to be better than they were, and then they ended up sneaking out a win against the Steelers. Or I don't know. I think I actually went to that game with Cody. But long story short, Steelers looked good. Patriots, we got to talk about them. I mean, I've got a banner for that. Is it time to pump the brakes on Drake May? I mean, there's a lot to get to. I want to hear your takes on that. Of course, we'll talk about my Cowboys lightly. I mean, that was the Thursday game. I got some takes I want to get to. And of course, we'll get to your comments as well as our week 2 predictions, which some good games on the slate here. But yeah, Ben, just wrapping up Steelers. I think it all comes down to Aaron Rodgers. Like, how well can he play? How well can he sustain himself? And I mean, let's talk way too early. Say he brings you guys to 10-7, you win a playoff game. Do you cut it short there? Do you bring him back next year? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, or is this it? This is it? Because I mean, this has been the one thing eluding you guys. This has been the one thing that you haven't been able to hit on is the quarterback. I mean, have you found him? Am I just talking crazy town too early?
No. I think I mean, you said it perfectly right there. This has been a while. It's been probably 6+ years. I mean, nobody really counts those end of the years. Roethlisberger, obviously, hey, thanks for everything. Hall of Famer, great guy, 2 Super Bowl rings. He did everything for us, but let's just be honest, those last couple years were rough. Those last couple years, he probably should have been gone. Then Kenny Pickett, then Mason Rudolph. What was that guy too? Duck Hodges. I mean, we threw Duck Hodges in there, Mitch Trubisky. So it's been rough for us, Josh. It's been rough. So this was a nice game to see. Us actually go off, us actually do something. So this was a nice change of pace, but I'm gonna pump the brakes a little. This is just a 1 year thing. This is a 1 year thing. I don't want to run it back with them because, like I said, I mean, hey, it was great. It was 244, 4 touchdowns, highest passer rating, for a Steelers quarterback, and like I said, like 6+ years. I don't know a specific number, but it's been a while. It's been a very long time, but some of those sacks and some of those, just lack of athletic plays, it's just going to come back to haunt us. And, watching, like I said, watching that Ravens-Bills game, this offense can't really compete with those guys, I don't think. I don't think Aaron Rodgers can go toe-to-toe with Lamar, Josh Allen. Those guys are on another planet right now. So this is good. I mean, this is manageable. I didn't want to run it back with Mason Rudolph again. Skylar Thompson was the other guy. I'm not running it back with him. Like I wouldn't mind drafting Shador. Shador was out there. I'd say if he fell to the 4th or 5th, I would have taken him. Obviously, I would have done that. So I was a little concerned about that. But getting Rodgers again, this veteran presence, this makes it all worth it. This makes it all worth it, Josh. So, but no, this is just a 1 year thing. This is a cool little. Hey, we got Will Howard too. So we got him in the back in the in the backup role too over there. So he's waiting to get a shot, but. This is a nice one, Josh. We got a veteran team. We got 50+ Pro Bowlers combined. Combined on this roster, 50+ Pro Bowls. So kind of a last hurrah for some of these guys. Most of these guys, I know Cam Hayward's not going to be around forever. Obviously, Rodgers. I'm saying 1 year deal, and some of these other veteran guys that we brought around here. This is the last shot. So I think this is a nice experiment. This is going to be a fun year, but. No, we need to still think about the future, Josh, and that's where I'm still a little jealous of Drake May for that. I'm still a little jealous of them, but no, I don't want to ride back with them.
In that's a perfect segue as Patriots losing a close one, 20-13. Jeff, he pretty good. I mean, maybe a little bit of a revenge game. I mean, I think if anything, it's against the Bears when he plays the Bears again. They signed Jabril Peppers, help out solidify that defense. Now that was one of Ben's question marks. We'll see. I mean, and speaking of those guys, I mean, just not the best performance here for Drake May. I don't know. He didn't play well. He's got his turnover bug continuing. I think it's pretty close to every game he's been in. He's thrown an interception. You got Matt Collins here just missing. Geno Smith delivering. Mike Vrabel, a couple questionable calls, in my opinion. Ben, what do we think? What's going on with the Patriots? I mean, is this, I guess, answer the question on the bottom here. Did the expectations shift already?
Oh, yeah. They got to shift a little. That was just a strange performance. Strange performance for them. They started out good. I mean, Drake May was making some good throws. Defense was looking good. But I don't know what happened that second half. And like you said, Josh, a couple questionable calls from Mike Vrabel. I'm not throwing it on him and everything. I'm going to blame that DC a little more. I don't know why I think Jeff sent that too. There was that tweet, that 3rd and 10, and I think he had Milton Williams and Christian Barmore drop back. It was like a zone blitzer, but they were playing middle linebacker. So a couple of just questionable calls from the Patriots throughout it. But I definitely do think expectations shifted for this team. If you come out here, you win this one, you get the Dolphins next week. Hey, you're looking at a possible 2-0. People were even thinking that, before this Dolphins sort of implosion. I know it's in Miami. I know they never win in Miami, but let's face it, Josh, that Dolphins team's awful. That I really am not happy with myself for backing that team. Shout out Achane. That's the only good guy on that Dolphins team, but that could be the worst team in the NFL. That's how bad they looked. So the Patriots, I definitely you got to shift the expectations now. You're looking down at 2-0 now. Hey, just try to square yourself off 1-1, and Drake May's just going to prove it. He's got to prove himself. I thought if he came out looking a little better, maybe correcting some of those wild plays that he had throughout the whole year last year. Josh mentioning the turnover bug. I thought he would, maybe there'd be a little more different expectations for him. But now I think it's just we just got to get through the year and see what happens because there's two head coaches, two offensive coordinators. If he picks it up, I'm not saying the season's already over for them. I want it to be. Listen, I would love that, but it's still very early. Raiders. I mean, Pete Carroll, that's a veteran head coach. Geno Smith, veteran quarterback, knowing how to take advantage. I'm not saying Mike Vrabel's inexperienced, but first game as head coach over there. You got a rookie, a second-year quarterback. New offense, completely new offense for him. A couple new offensive linemen. Those guys are going to take advantage. So I'm going to give the Pats a little more leeway on that. But just some of those throws, Josh. I don't know what Drake May. Some of it was a little strange. Just over the middle, he just cannot hit anybody in the second half. And turnovers emerged again. So you thought it would just be a little different from him, but it's kind of the same old story from him. So I think Patriots. You got to regroup and look at themselves a little different now, but it's not totally dead for them. Like I said, I want it to be, but they're not totally out of the water.
And I think one of the best things that's going to help them is their schedule. As Ben talked about, I'm going to be honest. I'm not liking what I'm seeing out of Drake May. Like sample size of just, last year to this year, it seems like kind of similar to the Mac Jones stuff. Like, I mean, we know, I want to throw something out here. We know for a fact that Drake May has the higher ceiling. Mac Jones was always questioned whether or not it was a lot of talent around him. We know that. I don't want to piss off any Patriots fans by saying he's going to be like Mac Jones. I will say one thing. This kid has no idea. Like, he makes some of the most questionable decisions in throws that I've ever seen. And some of them do remind me of Mac Jones, running across the side of the field, trying to make something happen. He throws a pick that just goes right in the hands of the Raiders. Just a lot of just miscommunication between wide receivers. Pop Douglas had probably one of the most weirdest games I've ever seen. He went for like -2 yards, but scored a touchdown. He was dropping passes left and right. I mean, I know I was talking with Dylan, obviously watching the game with him, diehard Patriots fan. He's been in the comments. He's a frequent flyer.
Shout out Dylan.
Timeout Talks legend. He's been on the show, everything. And I don't care what he says. I know he's an LSU guy, but Keyshawn Boutte as your number one receiver is a huge, huge problem. I know that they have a connection, but I mean, come on. It's the same, Ben, and I'm getting worked up because it's just like I had them going 10-7. I mean, what the hell? That's just 1,000% not going to happen. I think this New England Patriots team has a lot of issues, Ben. I think out of the three of our teams, they have the most problems. Their secondary is absolutely battered. Their safeties are abysmal. I don't know why Vrabel got rid of Jabril Peppers. We can get into that. I know the kid Woodson looked decent, but the other kid, I'd tell him to just go home. Number 21. Their secondary
Hawkins or something. I think it's
something like just absolute awful game. Awful game. Then you look at, I mean, the pass rush got better, but the offensive line, Will Campbell, Jesus Christ. I mean, he let up 2 sacks, had a penalty late in the game or like an false start or something like that. I mean, they have huge question marks. Stevenson looks like a shell of himself, which we all kind of knew was going to happen. Henderson looked okay, but Ben, they are in a world of trouble if they don't beat Miami next week, which I think that they're going to do, and I'm not going to overreact. But I will say the blinders in the panic, like the alert buttons, are on for Drake May because he's got to figure out these turnover issues. He's got to figure out to be more accurate with the ball. And lastly here, Ben, the biggest concern of it all, because I think a lot of what this team's going to have to do is predicated around that defense. What the hell's going on with Christian Gonzalez? I mean, this kid, every time I turn around, is hurt for the Patriots. They needed him desperately. Carlton Davis looked okay. I mean, you're asking him to do a lot last week. It just, I don't know, Ben. I put this, did the expectations for the Patriots shift already on there? Because I think that they have. I know for a fact that they have an easy schedule on paper, at the beginning of the season. Things change. Teams can be better than what we think. But moving forward, Ben, this team has got some real issues that they got to figure out. James knows it. I know it. You know it. The New England Patriots know it. So I think the biggest question mark of all is, let's see if Drake May, they can kind of figure out those jitters and move forward. But man, oh man, is this a huge win that they need in Miami. And Ben, to top it off, I don't even know the last time that they've gone into Miami and done that. Tua has never lost to the New England Patriots in his career. So a lot of eyes going to be on that game. I will tell you that for sure. And, Patriots fans, my Cowboys end up somehow losing to the Giants. You can fly all over me for getting on you guys. But, I mean, wow. Then I am very concerned about them. And I didn't say too much around my Patriot fan friends. I didn't want to piss them off. I get it. When you're losing, you don't want to hear that. But major problems in New England. And I'll tell you one thing. I don't even think Mike Vrabel coached that good of a game. So I'll throw that one out there as well. We've got Bobby hopping in here. First-time commenter. Thank you, Bobby. Welcome to the show. I think we'll get Ben back here in a second. It's just me. If Miami loses this week, McDaniels is gone. John Gruden comes in. I'm hoping. That I haven't heard the John Gruden comment before. I'm not a big Gruden fan, but I will say Miami too. My bold take is looking great, Ben. You didn't miss much. I was basically just saying, reading this comment, and my bold take's looking great. I will die on the hill. Tyreek Hill, man, he's already getting pissed. And I think Bobby makes a good point. McDaniel, if they get blown out by the Patriots, I think he's gone. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a close game. But aside from that, Chiefs got some wide receiver problems. Tyreek Hill's mad. It would be total thing for them to do to bring him back. Just saying, that was my bold take. But yeah, Bobby, I'm very, very curious to see what McDaniels has up his sleeve this week. I hate John Gruden. I don't think he's funny on Barstool. I think he's just an asshole. I think
it'd be an interesting move to bring John Gruden back.
That'd be wild. I think they'd be even more a disaster. But yeah, and then they play the Steelers after Miami. And that, Nick, everybody laughed at me for that. I said that the Steelers were going to go into Gillette, and I still think they're going to go into Gillette and give them a hard time, especially without Gonzalez. But yeah, I mean, they've got a lot of problems, Ben. That's essentially what I was talking about when you were gone. And that Miami game becomes very interesting for a lot of different reasons and for both teams. So.
Yeah, I think just sort of shifting that statement too. I think just the optimism takes a hit, Josh. I mean, everybody. This was the most excited I've seen Patriots fans in forever. They were actually excited for the season, and that was a winnable game. I know. I said, hey, Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, and that looks good on paper, but at home, the juice is flowing. Everyone's excited for the season. Drake May's making a statement. Mike Vrabel's looking to make a statement. Start off his coaching career. You thought they would come out better, have a better performance than that, but they just threw out a dud. There were some good spots throughout it, but just for the majority of it, it was just bad. The Raiders, I mean, that Trey Tucker catch, I mean, they were making Geno Smith look, I mean, he's great. I mean, he's not great, he's good. He's serviceable. He's, no NFL quarterback. He's not good. He's not great. He's not bad. He's in the middle. But, he shouldn't be carving you guys up like that. Thank you, Bobby. We're gonna keep.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate
it. Keep trying for that John Gruden signing. That'd be great. I mean, hey, if Mike McDaniel's gone, bring in John Gruden. It'd be crazy for Miami. Yeah, I mean, listen, give a new spark to them, but I think just more so for the Patriots, the optimism takes a hit. There's not as much excitement right now. I think they're starting to see it. I'm not, like I said, we're not out on Drake May. I think it's a little too early. Obviously, his second year, first game. I'll give him a little more time. Big Ben used to throw a lot of turnovers too. But, hey, granted, he had a better defense that was able to help him win. But even when that defense went away, he was still winning those games. He was still winning. We didn't win the Super Bowl, thanks to Brady and all them. But he was still winning these games. They're still coming up clutch. So Drake May's got to figure out how to just tote that line. Those crazy plays and just reel them in. Just go to the check down guy, and he's got to hit those guys. He's just got to you can't just keep letting loose anymore. He's got to hit these guys that are open and just actually convert on some of these big plays, because that defense isn't going to keep him in every game. So for the Patriots, yeah, the optimism hurts. You know, he takes a hit right now, but I think they're going to be looking good, and that could be the Steelers. But you get to 1-1, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, they did show
Don't want to give too
signs.
much away.
Like you said, they showed some signs. They definitely kind of had jitters in the beginning, and then I feel like it was like, the second drive, they were just in a rhythm. I mean, the Patriots were in a groove. They were just driving right down the field. Their defense looked good. They were getting, pass rushing attempts and, hurries and, pressure to Geno Smith. And then all of a sudden it just kind of just collapsed and the world kind of fell through. And then, the game got within Geno Smith's hands. And that's just what he's done in New England the past 2 years in a row, is just light it up. I mean, threw for almost 400 yards this time. I'm pretty sure it was 400 yards last time. So something to keep an eye on for sure. The New England Patriots. We'll see how they bounce back. And like Ben talked about, another thing I want to talk about here too, I know Bobby kind of, getting a little ahead of it, and, he could be right here. Are they going to move on from McDaniel? If that's the case, we might see a little fall of an era of Tua too. Like, say Tua comes in, Ben, throws 2 interceptions in the first half. Are we taking the training wheels off Quinn Ewers? I mean, I'd like to think so. If you're a Miami fan, you could watch your season implode right there. Maybe Ewers can be the guy. I don't know. I don't think it's Tua, but I think that leash is coming very close, and I think the training wheels for Quinn Ewers are going to have to come off soon. Well, I thought Ben was there, so he wasn't. Having a little bit of connectivity issues. But all right, we'll move forward here. We're going to talk about my Cowboys. Of course, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. They were able to hoist the banner in Philadelphia, where absolute idiot. I'm blanking on the Eagles coach name. Sirianni was able to say they completely forgot that they were Super Bowl champions. That was behind him. I mean, is what it is. CeeDee Lamb, kind of the highlight of that game. He had a few drops in big moments. I thought Dak Prescott played his ass off. I thought he played really good. As much as I hate Jerry Jones, that's one thing we see eye to eye on, is the fact that this was probably one of the best Dak Prescott games under the lights that I've ever seen. He did everything that he could do on offense. Again, we win as a team, we lose as a team. I know CeeDee Lamb had a few of those big drops, but yeah, Dak Prescott looked good. The offensive line looked great, Ben. Tyler Booker, that looked like a great, draft pick. I know that Jalen Carter had his antics and he is an absolute dumbass. Like, why are we spitting on people? I mean, you might have your own thing on it. I don't think Dak Prescott ever was trying to spit on him. I don't know where that came in. We know his criminal record and his past, so I'm gonna throw that in there as well and take Dak Prescott's side on it. Clearly, the refs saw something and they ejected him from the game, but that sets the tone right there. We were able to kind of run the ball well. Javonte Williams, another thing, looked way better. They just looked a lot better all around than I thought that they were going to. This is, I told my girlfriend, I said, this was the only time you will ever hear me, probably ever in your life, not your life, but anytime this season or within the past 3 years, you will hear me say, I'm actually proud of the Cowboys for losing, or not proud of them for losing, but proud of how they performed. They played very well. I mean, Ben, you get rid of an all-star. I mean, this is a generational talent you traded a week ago. You were able to kind of settle in the second half. I know they had that rain delay, and you could say Philadelphia looked a little sluggish week 1, whatever it may be, but Kenny Clark looked good. I mean, these guys looked dialed in, Ben. I think that they have major issues within the linebacking core. I don't even think it's just pass rush. I know everybody's on the pass rush. They need a legit sideline to sideline linebacker. We haven't had one in God knows how many years. I'm talking like Sean Lee, and he's been inconsistent. So we're missing guys like DeMarvion. I don't want to get too much into this because I obviously want to turn it over to you, Ben, and to our picks coming up soon and predictions. But they looked okay. I still think it's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Commanders division to play, but I expect a wild card berth for the Cowboys. They've got the talent. We know they're going to make some type of trade deadline move to hopefully get some type of, not anchor, but some type of help or reinforcement on that defense. But they looked all right, Ben. And this is, I know everybody wants to say Dak Prescott goes missing in the playoffs, but man, oh man, do we need him in the regular season. And I think it showed on last Thursday night.
Oh yeah, Josh, sorry about that. Typical lags over here from me, but I think just the glaring issue was the defense. You said perfectly. Just the offense is here. I mean, Dak looked great. Offensive line showed very good improvements from last year. And CD, George Pickens, he had a couple big blocks out there. Maybe over exaggerated them, but he stayed quiet. Right. He stayed quiet over here. He stayed pushing through and everything. But no, I think that offense, like I said, I think I nailed the prediction for the Cowboys. That offense is going to be there. The offense is going to be great. Yep. They're going to be doing their thing the whole time. That defense just isn't going to be able to keep up with anybody. That defense is just going to get gashed. And you saw it. I mean, the Cowboys were going to score for score with them. The Cowboys, I think the Cowboys were going to win. It was maybe a little biased on them too. Maybe I threw a little bet on them. Just
you did?
Just to help them out. Yeah, the boys. Hey, they were buzzing. They were looking good. I mean, more seriously, I think it's just that defense is going to hold you guys back, and it stinks. I mean, would Mike have solved all these problems? I don't think so. But coming from a generational player, losing that guy, they performed well, but it's just, what are you going to do? You don't have your leader. You don't have the best player out there. Your performance is going to suffer, and they did, especially against the Eagles. That's a tough first test. Tough first test for this defense. Defending champs, and they don't look like they missed a beat. Saquon is just an animal. A.J. Brown was missing, and they still did all this. Nobody knows where A.J. Brown went. And they still just kind of carved them up. No offense to Josh and the Cowboys, but no, I think the Cowboys, hey, wild card, that's a good spot for them. I'm a little different than Josh. I don't think they're going to make that wild card spot. I think that defense is going to hold them back a little too much. But that offense is looking great. That offense is there. You got your offense set. I think you just got to go fill out that defense now. So use those Packers picks wisely. And the Packers look pretty good, so it might not be the best pick, but you can find gems. TJ Watt was in the 30s, so I think you can find it pretty good. So I'm not too worried for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I hope it's knowing them. It's the throwback to 2011 where it's like 8-8 battling to get into the playoffs, and it's like win to get in at the end of the year. Like I know how with the Cowboys, so I mean we'll have to wait and see. I do think that they will make a trade, and I expect them to make the playoffs. Like with that talent, you can't keep waiting. It's going to catch up to you at some point, and you're going to, sorry, Ben, but you could have like the Steelers where you're searching for that franchise guy. And so I don't know. All jokes aside, Steelers looked good. But I think and one thing too, Ben, and I know I fall right into this trap because it's like I know how the media works. I know how headlines work and entertainment in general. Can we please get over the Micah thing? Like, how many times did I have to watch the Packers game and they're still talking about like the Cowboys side of things? And it's like, why don't we just talk about him on the Packers? And like, all the guys in the locker room have moved on. Like Dak and I'm in the locker room too. Like, I'm over it. We're moving forward. It is what it is. I wish him nothing but the best. But at the same time, Ben nailed it. Like, I'm rooting against this guy. Like, they play the Commanders this week. That's a divisional opponent. You best believe I want the Commanders to beat the Packers.
No way.
Eagles play the Packers in a few weeks. You best believe I want the Eagles to beat the Packers. So it's not. Of course, it has to do with the trade, and I'm a little salty that we lost him. But hey, I want a good draft pick, and that's why Ben. And another little point here that I was kind of talking to Tyler about, and he was like, no, I don't think they should do this, but I think that they should trade one of those first round picks because I think that they're gonna, it's going to be a 30 pick, or you flip both, but I don't know. They're going to have to do something, or maybe it's a third-round pick. I was kind of thinking about that on the ride here. Like, do they trade a third-round pick because they have extra capital now for a guy this year that they can kind of keep, or a younger linebacker that they can kind of control his contract, keep him for a while, make sure it doesn't affect our salary cap, who's going to give us quality play on the field. But they have to do something by the trade deadline. Jerry Jones can be in fantasy land thinking, hey, we don't want to give anybody any money. We're going to be tight on our budget. But they need to pay somebody on defense because that's a glaring problem. I thought it was going to be one of the running backs is the problem, but they looked okay. But
Javonte.
I digress, Ben. We've got plenty of more football to talk about. We've got, of course, more Cowboy stuff to get to. But this week, let's dive into it a little earlier. Let's get into our predictions and picks a little early. But like last week, we couldn't fully get into some of our game preview. So let's do it. And if we get any comments or Ben wants to go back to week 1, that is fine. We can do that. But let's get them out of the way. We're here. It's 1:00 game. I'll go fast. I think kind of the stuff we talked about with Ben, like, I could see this game being a little closer than expected because their defense isn't as good. But at the same time, I think the Cowboys at home, I think they're revved up. I think they're still hearing that noise about Micah Parsons. I think they're going to want to go out here and, prove a point. I think you look at the Giants. I know everybody's talking about Brian Burns and, they've got Dexter Lawrence and just a bunch, or I don't even know if they have him anymore, but they've got like Kayvon Thibodeau and, they've got a bunch of dogs on defense. But hey, this is what the Cowboys went out and did. They've got first round draft picks on linemen for the past what feels like 5 years. So hey, hopefully that's to our advantage. And I think that the Cowboys are going to get the win here. I think it's going to be pretty convincing. I'm going to say by at the least 10, but I'm going to say a 17-point win. 31-14. Yeah, I think they know that everybody's kind of watching them. I think Dak's dialed in. I think CeeDee Lamb. I mean, Ben, quick little point I want to talk about. Dropped all those passes. What could he have done? He could have. He kept going like this. He was saying during the game, like, hey, this game's on me. This game's on me. Telling his guys, like, it's on me. It's on me. What does he do? The very next day, the only Cowboy player to show up at the training facility, and he's catching balls. He's catching balls off the machine by himself. I respect that. This is why I love CeeDee Lamb. He's going to show you that emotion in the game, but he's always going to give it his all, kind of similar to Dez Bryant, but not as crazy. So I think they're going to get the win. I think their defense going to get a couple sacks. Watch out for Sam Williams. I think he'll be a good little pass rush, dummy or some type of sack leader, I think, by the end of the year for us. Not that it'll be a lot, but yeah, Cowboys get the win. Giants, they already got starting quarterback problems. I think we'll see Jackson Dart by at the very latest week 8. So Cowboys get the win at home.
Yeah, they're experiencing same problems as us last year. Russell Wilson has his limitations. He's old, much like Rodgers now, but Rodgers is, just a little better right now. You got to give Rodgers a little edge to Wilson. But they're both pretty much done. They're journeymen. Right now, they're just guys to be backups and kind of just get the team moving along. So that's why I think the Cowboys take advantage of that. They need a bounce-back game. That defense is good for the Giants, but I think the Cowboys at home is going to exploit them. I think the Giants put up a little more points. I don't see it, above 10 as Josh. I see a 10-point game, maybe like 34-24. I see a 34-24 high-scoring game. Division foes out here in the dome. I got the Cowboys winning, but yeah, it was a good point for Josh over there bringing it up. I don't know. Maybe if in my lag I missed it, but how you felt about those CD drops? I know a lot of people were throwing some flack on him. That diving one was a little tougher, I think. And people give him credit. I know, listen, they hit him in the hands, and obviously he makes it a little easier than people, than a regular guy does. CD is one of the best wide receivers in the league. I'll give him the first one. That first one, yeah, you got to catch that one. Going right through your hands on that one. In that other one before that one, you got to catch those ones. But when he's jumping through the air like that, I give him a little break. But do you blaming him too much on that one?
No. I think it's kind of a bang play. I don't know if that makes sense. I think it's kind of on both. Like Dak, it's a little overthrown. I mean, that's so hard to make that play on either side. I think if you really want to be technical, like you go back to a couple of the drops that CD had, he wouldn't have been in that spot. But at the same time, Ben, I don't mean to talk over you here, but they had 3 or 4 drives, like chances where they stopped the Eagles, and like literally 3 times you thought, okay, hey, this is going to be Dak Prescott's game-winning drive that we've seen before, and the offense just stalled out. They got a sack, something. So no, I don't blame that on CD Lamb, the one where he's diving out at him. I think it's hit his hands. He's off night, but at the same time, Dak, it wasn't the best ball. So tough moment. Give it to the Eagles. They won the game.
Wanted to hear your Cowboys take too. Listen, I didn't hear it on the lag, so I gotta hear Josh's little take on that. Like it's a valiant performance for them. Opener. Like I don't blame the Cowboys at all. Josh said it really well right there. He's proud of them. Hey, Josh is saying he's proud of the team. You don't hear too much of that from a loss from him on that. He's hard on him. He's hard on him. But hey, when they perform like that, they gave it their best shot. But like I said, just limitations on that defense. But games like this is where they're going to come alive. Giants at home. Yeah, I see them winning 34-24. Giants just, you got to figure out that offense. Much like the Cowboys, hey, you got the offense set, figure out the defense. Giants, you got the defense set, figure out that offense. I guess you let Russ start a couple more, but might as well let Jackson start ripping soon. I mean, Malik Neighbors had a decent game, but you got to get him the ball a little more. There's just got to be better plays for them out there. Because they were in that Commanders game. They were keeping it alive. That defense kept them in there, but just that offensive production just wasn't there, and it was just going to kill them eventually. So Giants got to figure it out. And hey, I love Russ for what he did for us. Got us in some playoffs, but I think Justin Fields could have done the same too for us. So probably get Russ out of there.
All right, another 1:00 game. I'm going to let Ben go first, but Patriots at Dolphins. We know the history there. Both teams desperately need this win.
Yeah, everyone knows the Patriots hate playing in Miami. I forget that great lateral. I forget who did that one. I'm blanking on his name. The guy who ran past Gronk that one time. Wilson's toast. Yeah, I like that one. That was for the Dolphins. They're just off on their toast.
Yeah.
Bringing that. I'm trying to think of that guy's name. I forget that one.
It wasn't Mostert. No, not Mostert. It was like one of those running backs, though.
Yeah, it was one. Yeah, I'm blanking on it. It was like
I'll find it.
So the Miami Miracle. There's not going to be any miracles this week. I think the Patriots finally going to get that win in Miami, avenge some of those demons. This Dolphins team, as I touched on earlier, this is just awful.
Kenyon Drake.
Oh, wow. How did I forget? Come on. The Drake. How did I forget Kenyon Drake on that one? Shout out to him for that one. Great Miami Miracle, but not going to happen this time. Josh, they're abysmal. As Bobby said, I think if Mike McDaniel doesn't turn this around, especially the offense, being the offensive guru that everyone said he was, and he was looking like that in the beginning, but he's just kind of hasn't progressed ever since. I think his days might be numbered over there. But yeah, that Dolphins team they're just bad, Josh. They're bad. They're going to be in the bottom of the league. You're going to be, there you go, Kendra. Don't sleep on the Patriots. I'm gonna sleep a little. But don't worry, it's the Dolphins. They stink. I think Drake May is going to, have a great game. The Dolphins I feel bad for Minka. Just going to have him hang out over there. But yeah, this is going to be a bounce back game for most teams throughout this year, Josh. The Dolphins going to be a good reset for everybody. And hey, they got to figure out life after Tua, I think. You got to figure out maybe go get another quarterback. He's just not cutting it over there. Maybe he needs a new change of scenery. I think everyone just needs a little fresh start over in Miami. So I got the Patriots winning. Give me 24-17. It's going to be close. It's a division game. It'll be close, but they're gonna win.
All those points, kind of talked about it earlier too. Like both teams need this. I mean, these are huge. I mean, I'm going to go off on a limb to say this is as early in week 2. This could really shatter the Dolphins. I know the Patriots, I think things are a little better there. I think Dolphins, the expectations now for a while, I mean, they really haven't figured it out. So, and Mike McDaniel, I mean, he needs this win. They need this win. They're at home. There's no excuses for them. They've got that star-studded offense, and I think that they're going to lose. I think, as Kendra said, I'm not sleeping on the Patriots for this one. I think they're going to get the win. I think it's going to be kind of similar to that Raiders-Patriots game where, it's kind of a back and forth a little bit. But I think the Patriots hold most control of it. I think this is where you're really going to see good play out of TreVeyon Henderson. I think that the receivers, you're still going to see those same things. Maybe Diggs turns it up a little bit. I mean, they're looking for somebody to kind of take control of that receiver room. Maybe it will be Booty. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, offensive line, Will Campbell, these guys need to be better. I think that they will. This buys a little more time for Christian Gonzalez. You don't really got to start to panic if you go 0-2. I think the Pats get the win. Similar to Ben, I got them winning 21-17. I think it's going to be a close game. I think, their rookie kicker gets out there, maybe misses or hits a field goal, keep them still on 21, hits a couple extra points, 3 extra points, keep them there. But, yeah, I think Patriots get the ball in the end zone. I think we're actually not going to see a turnover for, Drake May. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to kind of settle in a little bit. I don't love this Dolphins team. I've been very down on them. I've said from the beginning, I think they're going to be the worst team in that division. And again, I will say this every time we talk about the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill's gone. By trade deadline, he's gone. He's going to want out. He's already freaking out. I want to see a little bit of him. But, yeah, Tyreek Hill's already freaking out. And I'm telling you right now, the Chiefs are going to be calling him back, and I think that this game is going to lead to that then. I think it's just going to do it and lead to that. Moving forward, we've got 1 o'clock game. I'll go first because I want to leave Ben with more time to talk about his team. This game, huge, huge game. I mean, this is pivotal. And I hate to say this, because I've been so high on the Seattle Seahawks this year, I thought, maybe they can go for that division, Rams and the back injuries. And the Ben's going to love this, but I think his Steelers eke it out. I think another low-scoring game, or somewhat low-scoring. I'm going to say 23-14 in a game that looks a lot closer than the score. I think the defense is going to be too much. I like Sam Darnold a lot. I've really been rooting for him ever since he was on the Jets. I really have caught a lot of slack from my uncle's friends about him. But I don't think that they can figure it out. I think the Steelers at home, they're riding a super high. I think things are going to get kind of out of orient here in Seattle. They're going to get down. The running back room is an issue. I mean, we can pretend like Kenneth Walker's happy, but he's not. And I'm a huge Kenneth Walker fan. I don't know what the hell they're doing and what's going on there. But anyways, I think that's going to be a problem. What do the Steelers do very well? They take your run right out of it. So I know Breece Hall played decent, so that might not always be true. But moving on, go back to it. I'll leave Ben with more time. I think the Steelers get the job done. Aaron Rodgers, we see him throw his first pick, but plays well and at home. So I see them going 2-0. I really do.
Yeah, I hate to agree, Josh. I hate to agree with that, but I am going to see it as well. 2-0 Steelers, possibly. Hey, 2-0 head into that matchup with the Patriots. Looking at a 3-0 potentially, but don't want to get ahead of myself. I think, this one is set up for us. Seahawks, like I said, it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Seahawks in a tightly contested one with the 49ers. I just don't think they have that juice yet. I don't think Sam Darnold's figured out that offense. Like I said, Kenny Walker. I don't know what's going on with Kenny Walker. I'm going to have to sit him this week. But disappointing performance. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Wyatt Charbonnet again, that touch in the goal line. It was a little confusing, but I think that offense is just still figuring itself out right now, Josh, and the Steelers going to take advantage of that. Defense needs a bounce-back game. I think that's why they keep it low-scoring. I'm not going to totally go on with you with the pick from Rodgers, but I think Rodgers comes back down to earth a little on this one. He's 42. He's like I was talking about earlier in the show. We can't have him. We can't depend on him scoring 30+ and throwing 244 and 4 touchdowns every game. It's just not plausible. He's going to slow down. He's going to hit a couple bumps in the road. We saw some of it with his lack of mobility in the pocket, leading to sacks in that Jets game. And hey, Boston hit that 60-yard bomb. I blame him for that little last play. I don't know why we're throwing it right there when we just need a couple more yards to give Bonds a little break, give him like a 56-yarder or something like in that range. But I know we had to force him with a 60-yarder, but he's the best, Josh. He's the best out there. So he nailed it for us. That made me forget a little bit of Aaron Rodgers' sort of mistakes over there in the play calling mistakes. But I think we get this win. Need this one. I got to get these wins early in the season. But I think the Seahawks still figuring themselves out. The Steelers take advantage of that. Give me 2-0. You said 2013, so I can't take that one. Give me 17-10. Give me 17-10. That's low scoring affair. Steelers defense got embarrassed last week. They need this one. So bounce back game. Cam Hayward's going to get everyone ready to go. Listen, Cam, hey, we paid you, Cam, so we gotta pick it up a little. Pick it up. I know he's a Steelers legend, forever. I'm forever grateful for him, but you gotta pick it up a little now. So let's go Steelers. I got him 2-0.
And yeah, Steelers after this game against the Seahawks, they go into New England for week 3. Then they play I just saw it, the Vikings in week 4.
Oh.
And then in week 5, they are on their bye week very early in the season. So that's the next 3 weeks we're looking at for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't like those early bye weeks either. But
not good for a team like us.
I know you want those later. You want to place those bye. I agree. I think having that bye week a little later in the season, or even right in the middle, it breaks up the season well. I think even later is better. But moving forward here, I'm gonna go with my lock of the week. Ben talked about this team earlier. Like, how can you keep up with them? I know. I think they're at home. I'm like 90% sure they're at home. They are at home. They're on 1:00. They're angry. They were very upset. I mean, they let this game slip behind them. Sunday Night Football. They are going to embarrass the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens they're gonna flock. They're gonna, whatever they're saying is over there, they're gonna do it. I mean, you're talking about an MVP caliber quarterback here, 2-time MVP quarterback in Lamar Jackson. They're just gonna roll, Ben. My thing is this: you need a good quarterback to win in the National Football League, and you need the talent in both of those things. And you need a better head coach. And neither of those 3 things happen to be in the favor of the Cleveland Browns. They have so many question marks. I think that they've got some spots of, Harold Fant good, and they've got some young running backs who looked okay. And, of course, they've got the 2 studs on defense in the secondary. But other than that, they're going to get routed. I like the Ravens to absolutely light it up. Ravens are going to put 40 points on the board. It's going to be 40-17. They are very upset. It's a divisional game. These guys don't like each other. Myles Garrett's not even going to be a factor. That's how in I am on the Ravens. Yeah, I'm going that far.
He's got the hot takes.
I'm going that far.
Yeah, mine's a little less. Mine's a little less hot, I guess, than that aspect. I'm going. I hate to do it, but I just got a feeling about this one. Division rival, but I'm going Bengals over the Jags for my lock. 3.5. Play that 3.5 if you want to. Not endorsing it, but hey, if you want to. But no, I think the Bengals looked really good last week. They got the win. Let's just say that.
Easy backpedaled on that.
I took it back. And I never want to say they look really good, but just this is a typical Bengals. They always lose week 1, and it looks like it for a while. I mean, Joe Flacco was leading a couple late drives over there. It was a 1-possession game for a while. And obviously Flacco couldn't deliver, but he was right there. They were still right there, but the Bengals defense put the clamps down. They looked good out there. And I think the Jags just got a little too much hype. No offense to Ray and them, but no offense to Ray and them, meaning the Panthers fans, but it's the Panthers. I think we need to calm down with the Jags. So obviously that weather delay kind of threw up the rhythm of the game and everything. But it's the Panthers.
That was your upset, Jags. Right? You had the Panthers. I was watching that game for you. That was my
upset. Yeah, so that was bad pick by me. Good start. Start of the year. Now you gotta take a risk. Take a risk, Josh, on that one. But yeah, they didn't look good on that one. So I think you got to calm down the expectations with Jags. They look good, but I don't think they're going to do anything serious. I mean, I don't know why they're already trading Tank Bigsby. ETN just had one good game. That was kind of weird. Uh, so but I mean, I thought it was kind of a nice little 1-2 over there. So I'm kind of confused on that one, but I think the Bengals going to be over the Jags at home. Just lock that one up, Josh. Lock that one up.
Music
Put that
to
one
my
away.
ears. Hey, Bengals are they're like my second team, man. I love them. I love Joe Burrow. That's my guy. I like it. I like it,
Shout out
Ben.
Dylan. Hey, shout out Dylan.
Shout out
That's the
Dylan.
skill.
Upset. I think this team's being very disrespected. This upset that I'm going with, they're being very disrespected. They have, if you're in my if you watched football with me on Sunday, I probably said this wide receiver's name 1,000 times because I love saying it. I'm not going to give it away. I like building up here. But this team, they're on the road. It doesn't matter. They're playing on the lights Monday night. It doesn't matter. They're playing against the biggest question mark and probably the most overrated quarterback in the National Football League. And I'm not usually high on this team. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers somehow going into Houston, and they're going to shock Houston. They're going to shock the world. They're going to shock Vegas. That 2.5 cover spread, they are going to cover it with a 7-point or maybe even more, less than that, point victory there. I liked what I saw out of Emeka Egbuka. That's my guy. I thought he played really well. I have him in a couple fantasy leagues, so I'm feeling good about him. But yeah, could be Chris Godwin replacement. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's always got that chip on his shoulder. He's going to go in there. They're going to go 2-0. They played in an absolute shootout. They were battle tested last week. I just don't like what I'm seeing out of the Texans. Stingley already hurt. I think that's a big task for that secondary in general, even with Stingley out there to kind of mask up and go play against those guys. So I don't want to take too much time because, as always, we finish the show with Ben, and we're going to finish the show with his upset of the week. But I love the Buccaneers going into Houston. I might even bet on that game this weekend. I know, not talking too much, Ben. Don't worry. But I might even a little dollars on that because I feel, it's a possibility. We're allowed to talk hypotheticals. So I like the Bucs. They're on the road in the dome. Come on, man. They're going to get that win. Like they used to do on ESPN the morning. Come on, man. Randy Moss and those guys. I don't know why they got rid of them, but But yeah, shout out Chris Brown, my favorite announcers. But yeah, that's my upset right there.
Shout out to Swami, classic ESPN over there.
Yeah.
As I shout out Dylan, I got to shout out Jeff for this one too. I'm going his way. I'm going Indiana Jones, Indianapolis Colts. Get another upset. Josh was confused at this one. He didn't really like this one from me. I got the Colts over the Broncos. I'm not loving the Broncos, Josh. I was just talking about not loving the Texans. Obviously, yeah, that Stingley one's very big for them. That's huge. Shout out Mike Evans. Come on, give me some fantasy points with that one. But I didn't love that performance from the Broncos, Josh. A lot of people hyping them up a little too much, I think. Bo Nix did not look great. Much like Drake May, did not look great. Some of those throws was very bad. And Calvin, I mean, both they were right there, the Titans. If Calvin Ridley didn't drop that a couple passes, they're right in. They're in there. I mean, they were down one possession. They had that game. Calvin Ridley missing key passes down there for Cam Ward. So Broncos, not as hyped on them as everyone else. Give me the Colts as a nice little upset right there. Shout out Jeff. Indiana Jones 2-0.
Shout out Jeff. Shout out Jeff Perez. Yeah, like what we're seeing here. Of course, we're gonna get you night football predictions, and as always, we'll get you our locks and upsets of the week. All in predictions, all submitted out there on Sunday for you guys. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We've had frequent flyers. We've even had a new commenter, Bobby. We want to welcome you back. Bobby. Hop in here. Within the next few months, we're gonna open up. We're gonna have a big show. We'll have some guests come on. We'll maybe get a couple interviews. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. As always, I'm going to tune it over to Ben. Go Cowboys.
Can't say go Cowboys, but they'll get that win this weekend. Shout out to everybody too for watching. Shout out to KMS Network putting this out here. Everybody else, Josh operating this thing as always. He's the best. And then I'm going to leave on this one. Steelers, let's go 2-0 heading into Gillette.
Call timeout. Timeout talks. Timeout talks.